Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is John with Tommy's Top Picks here to bring you another couple box openings. We're actually going to do two today. I've gotten a little bit better at this process. I don't know this particular product that well, but after Crimson, I opened, I think, two more boxes. They both hit well above EV, putting my average between, I think it was the 3 boxes total of set, above my purchase by a lot and above expected in general. And again, most of that's clustered in a few cards. So if you sell those few cards, you make the money back. You have this extra in inventory, which is useful for the direct program, which is my goal. I'm still working towards that. As previously stated at the very end, if you got to the very end, all this is pre-recorded, so prices that I show at the end are probably not going to be reflective of the prices if it's at the time you're watching it. I think I recorded Crimson Vow about a week in advance. I'm recording this about a day later, 2 days later, so it's going to be put out a further week out, so probably 2-3 weeks in advance. If you get the idea, I'm basically stocking up heavily, quickly within a few days, but the reality is I'm releasing the videos in a drip over the course of weeks. So apologize for that if that causes any confusion. Probably won't, but I'm not sure how much people care about that, but I thought I'd point it out. So we're going to go into this product. I have most of a case of this left. I sold one booster box way back. The EV, according to Mox Alpha, as of right now is 110, and the purchase price on TCG Player low is like 86, I think. I got it for even better than that through distributor. Let me see. Nope, 64. Sorry. It is 64 to buy this, and then EV is 110. Reality is there's a lot more to that calculation than just those two numbers. When you start to look at profit margins, effort, fees, TCG Player, etc., you got to take some more things into account. I'm not paid by Mox Alpha, but I actually really enjoy this software, so I do like it. I'm not sure if it's worth it for everyone, but doing what I'm doing, it seems to be worth it. It's helping me make decisions on which things to open, which things not to open. And as I've said before, I'm charging towards getting direct, so I want to get something like 10,000 cards up and get my sales up. So I'm working towards that. It's a lot of work. But let us crack some boxes. And we'll do one at a time, but we'll do both. I got pretty fast with the set with Crimson Vow. I figured out a way to make it easier instead of all the sorting I was doing. I'm just going to put it into like basic categories. Oh, cool. There's a box topper. I didn't know there was a box topper to this. Cool. And they show it, so I don't even have to open it, but I will. I'm just going to put it into value versus non-value cards, essentially, and do it that way. I think it's the easiest way to go. And what I'll do is, at the end, I'll summarize the value. There will be a few cards I'll miss. There's about 5 cards worth selling in the common category based on TCG Player low. I will go back and get those after the fact because I do want to put those in inventory because they are in demand, obviously. Make the shiny card nice and up there. And oh, these faces. If we cut it off, it should. There we go. Look at that. Oh, yeah. And we got the Ugin playmat because it gave me a lot of luck with that Crimson Vow. Or was it? No, it might have been the one before Crimson Vow. Whichever it was, that box came out really well at the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep him out for good luck. And then last thing, I want to make sure I have the latest and greatest on New Capenna. So I want to make sure I have the Streets of New Capenna and most expensive stuff up. Oops, I just clicked an add-on there. Oh yeah, let's get rid of, let's just make it cards. All right. Okay, looking for showcase stuff. It looks like that's where the value is. Very cool. All right, let's jump in. I'll try to be quick with it since it's 2 boxes. Ooh, these packs are not going to help with that because they are a little tougher than I was expecting. But yeah, we'll go through, get a feel for the cards. So these are these commons. Backstreet Bruiser. I can't remember if that's one of them. I know one of them is called Slip Out the Back. So basically, separate it into commons. Right, this is, I think, the easiest way to get the value out of it. Uncommons, rares, and then land can go off to the side, and that's just a token. So that is going to go in the trash. Although I should probably look after that $6 token. Yeah, there is a $7 token, and it's the treasure token. SEA exclusive. I don't know what that means. Okay, so there are some special tokens that are, I guess they're specific to something. Anyways, I'm going to flip through these real quick. Ooh, that looks nice. Is that a showcase? I don't know if that's a showcase. I guess it is, right? Maybe we'll hold off to the side just for a second. See what's up. All right, common, uncommon, rare, land, not a special token. I'll put the showcase off to the side just to see, especially since it's a land. Sometimes showcase lands are good. I'll tell you, the showcase lands in Crimson Vow sell like hotcakes. I've sold multiple full play sets, so that's definitely a thing. Yeah, I think I'll do that just in case. Oops, shoot, I just screwed that up already. Look at that. There we go. Common, uncommons. Ooh, we got a foil. All right, rare. That's a cool looking card and a foil. Ah, here we go. Here's the special lands, and then tokens. All right, so we're just gonna keep ripping. I know nothing about this set virtually. It was just a really cheap box, and I was looking for volume, so that's why I got it. Because cheap for volume is a good thing for filling out inventory. And it was selling, and the EV ended up looking good, so yeah, that can just go there, I think, because I'm already going to go through these cards to check for value. I won't go through these, so if there's anything special there, that's why I'm pulling that out, because I won't end up going through those with the app unless I need to. Land and very bad token. Interesting, a lot less foils in this. Wow, failing at opening a pack. Yeah, a lot less foils in this. Guess this is the fast way to go through this, right? Ooh, there we go. Get your Majestic. I think the lands can go off to the side in favor of Majestics, and a Majestic foil. And a copy token, not a special token. Now, I wonder what SEA exclusive means. That's how it's listed on TCG Player. And since this is draft box, I don't think I'll get that many of the pretty showcase cards and things like that. So I may be, oh, well, and then I proved myself wrong. I may be out of luck. Nice. I like that. And then treasure token, but not the fancy one. Yeah, just double checking. Yep, just a basic one. I never get the fancy tokens. I mean, I guess that's why they're expensive, because they're rare. But I really want one of the fancy tokens. I don't know why I like the idea of selling a $6 token, but I really like the idea of selling a $6 token. All right, see, like this is a showcase, so I'll throw that in with this. And that's a showcase, so I'll throw that in with that. I'll double check at the end just to make sure. But yeah, basically minimal value, probably low value cards. Another treasure token. It's not one of the fancy ones either. Wonder why. Wonder what the difference is there. I'm gonna hold on to that one because that's an interesting one. The information is power of the obscure. Wait, is this one of the fancy things that was up there? Nah, it's not the SEA exclusive. I'm still gonna hold on to that one because it's a strange one. Well, actually, it is kind of similar to one of them that's up there. It may not be the correct version of it, but it's pretty. I'll check it at the end. I'll check it at the end. Just see. It's worth it to check, right? There's no loss for that. Let me just let me grab that. What was it? Is this the treasure? Oh yeah, this has the Riveters. Okay. So yeah, I'll hold on to these ones. I think it was the treasure token, ones that were worth taking a look at. Yeah. So anyways, ooh, nice. I'm having fun with this. It's a lot of work. Here's another treasure. Yeah, the brokers. Yeah, I think they're not the top ones, but they might be worth something. Because the top ones are actually worth $14. Crazy. Crazy, a token for $14. I love that. But yeah, this is a lot of fun, a lot of work, of work. Doing something like, I don't know, it changes every week. It's kind of different, but as I'm ramping up, it's getting towards nice. Something like, I don't know, like today was 15 orders in the morning, but I also put it back to what's it called, match price on market to slow down volume, because I was basically burning out, and so as a result, my orders went down, which is fine. That's what I wanted. So, oops. Well, I guess it could go there. Yeah, I don't even know why I'm saving those lands. They probably aren't going to sell for anything. I'll double check, but I doubt it. So what ended up happening was I was getting a little tired. The volume was really high, and it was getting too much to keep up with. So I cut back by basically going to market value instead of least. And then what I'm doing is like cards in a certain value range. See, that's another, yeah. I think these are probably worth holding on to. Cards in a certain value range I'm putting to market price, and cards in a different value range, like say 1 to 5 cents or 1 to 20 cents, whatever, right? It's different for different sets. I'm putting at the lowest price to get people basically into my shop, and then counterbalancing that with the higher value stuff being put up at a at market instead of. So basically, if you want the big card, you can get it, or if you want the little cards, you can get it at volume or at market price. Lowest TCG lowest or market. And essentially what that's doing is it brings people in, and then when they go to optimize their cart, it ends up optimizing to me. So I get a lot of orders, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I actually like those treasure tokens. I can see why people are into them. Fancier ones are definitely fancier. I am not sure how well that's going to work in the long run. It was definitely driving a lot of volume. And now I'm trying to get some value up, because there's two requirements. You need to have 3,000 listed, and then you need to have $600 in sales a week. And when you do that, then you qualify for direct. I'm over the 3,000 listed, and I want to get to 10. But the sales volume I need up. So I need those higher value cards to sell at the higher value. If I sell them at the lowest, then I won't end up hitting the mark, because they're just the lowest value is typically that's funny, it's a fish. The lowest value is typically someone that's the camera's doing that thing again. Might have to restart. We'll see if it catches back up. Typically what happens is the lowest value is like either a card that someone doesn't have good name recognition out there, or whatever it is, right? So when you go to the lowest with that sort of stuff, it ends up hurting you, is my point. So I don't want to go lowest for the high value cards. All right, I'm going to have to fix the camera. It's acting up. So there will be a weird pause in this. All right, back real quick. Doesn't look like I've solved the problem. I don't know what it is. Something's going on with the processing on my computer. I tried to kill a bunch of different things. It didn't seem to help. So we're just going to go with it. I apologize for the janky video, because it's going to do this little chug thing the whole time. I'll try to stop on key cards so you can see those. And again, I apologize, because that is bullshit. No other way to put it. I have a fancy computer with lots of RAM and all that stuff, and it's not really a fancy computer. I just got one of those like gaming type computers because I game. And so it should be able to process all this fine. It can run VR, but it can't run a stupid camera stream. I don't get it. And it seems to be OBS, because the camera's running fine. It's just OBS that's causing issues, and I don't get it. I don't know how its memory management works and all that stuff. Ooh, Elspeth Resplendent. That's probably a hit. Got a nice foil there. Nice forest. That forest is gorgeous. Wow. Probably should have gotten set of this. I wonder if it's still available. I know Nuke Fena is one of those like not that liked sets overall, but it seems to be where a lot of hidden value is. was also looking at and bought some Jumpstart 2022 because it seems the EV on that is like way out of bounds of its retail cost or whatever. Like I think it retails like 80, maybe 90 because everyone's just dumping stuff. But the cards inside are worth like 120, and because it's a Jumpstart product, they come in those packets of like green or blue or whatever, right? They have names, and those are pretty consistent. Like when I opened that Jumpstart, the 2020 product, I had way more black than anything else. It's not an even split, right, at all, not even close. And so what ends up happening is, it's cool. What ends up happening is you end up with a very good spread of cards, essentially. So a lot of the packs end up having a high value card in them, at least one. And so what happens is, because of the way the product is distributed, you can end up with a much higher EV. And it seems like that's the case. I don't know if these are going to be worth anything. I did look up the commons that were worth something, and I'm not recognizing these names. So it makes me wonder if I'm wasting my time separating those out. But we'll go through it. We'll see. Another Majestic Body Launderer. Another foil. Ooh, cool red. I do like those. Rhino Warrior. What a weird set. This is such a strange throwback set. And not throwback set. I mean, I guess it's throwback now because it's been a while since it came out, but it's such a strange, universe, world, whatever they threw together. It seems pretty cool. It's got a cool flavor. I'm not sure if it's my flavor per se. Kind of taking Magic outside of its normal realm. We've talked about that in the past. And what I feel about that, typically not great. It's still somewhat in theme because it still has, your Elspeths and the characters you come to expect. And the demons running Gangster World doesn't feel too wrong, right? Like, it seems pretty on point. I don't know. I'm not sure what I feel about it. I'm not 100% in favor. I like cars and stuff, even though they're flying cars. It's a cool theme. I like the cool theme. It's a cool theme, but I don't know. I can see how people aren't that into it with kind of a shift away from the fantasy, if you will, into this gangsta style. I did like, did you guys ever see, God, it was like a very B movie, but it was based on, it's called Bright Lights or Bright or something like that on, I think it's on Netflix. It wasn't originally, I don't think, or maybe it was just a Netflix movie, I don't know. And it was based on, I believe, what's that, Shadowrun kind of world, and I want to say it had Will Smith in it, but I could be wrong about that. Or maybe I'm mixing up two movies. Actually, I think there's two different movies. One was a Netflix, one wasn't. One had Will Smith, one didn't. I think there's two movies that kind of fell into that Shadowrunner style, right? Cyberpunk sort of style and theme, and they came out around a similar time. So it's a mix of magic and technology sort of thing. Future, kind of, I wouldn't say apocalyptic, but like a dirty future, one of those sorts of things. Pretty fun. I love that setting. I love that theme. I play Shadowrun pretty regularly. So for me, that's a fun thing to explore. So this kind of feels like that. I just don't know that it lands. I just don't know that it hits for most people. I like it, but again, I can see why people don't, and it does feel like a stretch from my normal Magic world that I prefer. If we're gonna say something about it, that's what I would say. That would be my concern. Gilded Pinions? Nah, I don't think so. So yeah, lots of card sorting going on in my world. Oh, I just screwed that up. That has been my life for the past few days. For context, for me, I am recording all these the week between Christmas and New Year's, with the downtime that I have. I don't have the days off necessarily, but my workload is a lot quieter, and so I am working on the shop, getting that done, and doing them mostly mornings and nights, and without distractions of work driving into the evening and things like that. I can focus on this with minimal outside interference, which has been going pretty well. I've been enjoying it as a means to stretch my brain into new categories of thinking and look into new stuff. Okay, so foil rare and another cool treasure token. Yeah, I'm not sure if these are going to be worth it based on the number I've already accumulated over here. Guessing they're probably penny cards. Anytime when you throw one box and you have a pile of something, it's not worth much. So, it's a given. It's not worth much. I think that one exception is these kinds of lands tend to always do well for some reason. Well, I guess I know why, because you want 13 of any particular color or so in a deck, and so you need a lot of them, and so the demand's up, and the supply might be good, but it's usually not the same as people wanting to buy a whole play set, right? Foil land. Foil basic land. That's a weird one to get. Another treasure. Yep. Seen that one 3 times in one draft box. That's super common. I can pretty much guarantee I'm going to be tossing those. I don't toss all penny cards. I just like lands and stuff like that, where it's like, why it would never come back based on meta changes, right? So why hold on to those? Kind of a shame, honestly. I do recycle, but it's like kind of a shame that it's a cool little devil. That so much of it is just landfill or recycling, but that is how these products work. I think they're changing that with the play booster concept. It's more like a set booster, so you get more of the cards you want, less of the cards you don't need, so you have less bulk, less crap basically sitting around, which I think will be good ultimately, hopefully, if they do it right and don't ruin it. Yeah, geez, this camera's, I guess it's really the recording software is pissing me off. I really don't like when it does this. It does it every once in a while, and I don't know what causes this chunk. It's like my memory is being used up, and I rebooted my computer, so it's not. Yeah, I do not know what causes that, but I find it very annoying. And Halo Fountain, cool. And a fish. Yeah, I find it very annoying, and when I can't figure it out and can't clear it out, usually when I reboot or whatever, shut down some things, it's fine after that, but it's not doing it this time. It's arguing with me. It's angry. And I had it for a while, and then I had it fixed for a long time, and now it's back to doing it again. So I'm guessing some sort of errant process is booting up on startup, and it's causing my memory to be burnt up. That is my guess. If you have any clue what causes this to OBS, let me know in the comments below, because boy, would I like to solve this problem for sure. Alright, box 1 done. Let's clear these commons, get to box 2. And these will go in a bulk box, and maybe I'll sell it as bulk, I don't know. And these uncommons, get them off to the side. Yeah, I'll probably just check these. So my target for this is like, let's see real quick. I want to hit like $70 a box on payout. So that is the goal here. And most of that's going to be in these cards, maybe some of that, maybe some in the foils, although I'm not sure if I'll price out the foils. Let's see where it lands. If I'm low, then I'll price out the foils and then tell you what that's worth too. But we'll see. Like I said, the EV on these, that's not a good sign. Same box topper. That's usually bad. You don't want the same box topper twice. Uh-oh. Yep, that's a bad sign. I don't usually load up a second box, so a little awkward here. Let's get ripping. I do enjoy opening product. Typically, I would just stick with sealed, because historically that has been the way to go for making money, but that seems to have shifted. I have a feeling that day is done. Hey, another Elspeth, but that's kind of sad. Hopefully that's a worthwhile card. card. Makes me think it might not be, seeing 2 of them in 2 boxes. Yikes. About the same spot in the box, too, if I recall correctly. Wow. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Yeah, maybe this is why the product's not liked, because the correlation sucks. That's possible. And that treasure token. Yep, I think those treasure tokens are worthless. Oh boy. Oh boy. Am I in trouble? Is this all bulk? Ugin? Ugin? Give me the hits. Help me out here. We pressed our luck. We went down chain to cheaper and cheaper boxes. Started with the more expensive fun boxes, Wilds and Ixalan, and now we're down to the bottom of the barrel, but they're so cheap to get. It's kind of like, how do you argue with that if you need bulk? If you need cards in listing, right? It's cheap per card to get them up there. And if people buy them, which they are apparently, then you have something worth listing, right? But if you have no value, that's the problem, because it's a lot of work for no value, right? So we're hopefully this will turn out different than it's looking. We'll follow up in a second after I'm done ripping. But I am definitely getting nervous. I am getting nervous. I don't know. Just trying to fix the camera thing real quick if I could. This and nothing. Hope you guys are all healthy out there. I have a number of friends who've caught COVID. It has been a pretty rough year for it. Basically everyone I know caught it. My partner didn't, thankfully, but I did. I was traveling though, and she was not, and she also boosted right as I traveled. Smart that she is. She was like, "You're gonna bring something back," and sure enough, I did. So, hope you guys are doing well out there, and your families are staying healthy and stuff, because it's not fun. I'll tell you that. It's definitely not fun. And everyone I know that's caught it is basically the same opinion. No one this year, unlike last year, is saying, "Oh, it's just a light cold sort of thing." Everyone's saying, "Ooh, this is rough." So I think it got a little kickback up to a more difficult to deal with, I guess, for our immune systems or something version. Definitely hit me hard. So I hope you're staying safe and staying healthy. But everyone's kind of going back into the world. My work's going to have us back in the office soon, I think. I know a lot of people are already at that stage, so that's a thing. And then we started looking at the economic outlook for the year. You have people coming in the office, getting sick, spreading it, but then also a downturn, so you're at high pressure at that point. Well, I'm assuming a downturn, but coming into the year with that kind of context, I think you're going to see people at a high pressure to show up, even if they are sick, because jobs will be kind of on the line if we do get a downturn. It's funny. I don't know. This is reflected on Rudy's video. Again, this is recorded a while ago, so this is right after Rudy's video came out, where he was talking about all the different problems. And damn it, I did it. Okay. And he said something about interest rates in the second video, and how dumping interest rates down would be, I think he said something like it would be a mistake. I don't want to misquote him, but point being was, it was an interesting interpretation. I never really thought of it that way, and I'm curious how much thought he put into it, because he just kind of said it off the cuff, which I know I've made mistakes, so I totally identify with that. And something that I was thinking about is, he said something to the effect of like, just reducing interest rate will hurt people, et cetera, which, I mean, would be true if they just reduced interest rates, but there's no indication that they'll reduce interest rates unless there's a reason to, right? They are going to react to the economy slowing. So I don't think reducing the interest, like it's getting the cause and effect backwards. I don't think reducing interest rates is going to hammer people. And again, I may be misunderstanding what he was saying. Damn it, I did it again because the pile's smaller. I did it twice. I think what is going to happen is the economy is going to slow, and that's why they'll reduce interest rates, because basically unemployment will go up, is the thought. That tends to be the way it goes, is unemployment goes up, interest rates get reduced to cool the pressure to reduce spending, to pull back money, because that's why you raise interest rates, is to tighten money, so people aren't just spending it everywhere, cools off inflation, etc. And when you cool off inflation, guess what? People lose jobs, you know. And he was talking, I think it was in the context of like Hasbro laying off 20% of employees, and the reason why is because internal data shows that they're going to sell less boxes this year. So instead of adjusting too heavily on the actual production and stuff, you lay off people because people are considered overhead, right? Which was his talking point, his statement. This is a cool looking card. Wow, I really like that. Which, I mean, to a degree makes sense, but I don't see them pulling interest rates, you know, just for the sake of it, right? I don't think that's how that's going to work. They're going to pull interest rates down as a reaction to the economy cooling, not for funsies or whatever, right? But like I said, I'm not sure he thought it all the way through, because he was just off the cuff, and I've definitely done that. I had off the cuff statements and then later realized, no, wait, that's not even accurate. Like, that's upside down. That's backwards. I said that wrong, you know, whatever. So I don't want to hold him to too much for that. But it just got me thinking a little bit. I was like, yeah, interest rates will come down, but that's because the economy will be crashing to some degree. Now, is it the soft landing? Is it just cooling off? What does that look like, right? We don't know. That's the part that's unknown, and the timing's unknown. So the degree, the severity, if you will, of the downturn and the timing are the two major variables that are unknown at this time and will determine everything. Because if it's a soft landing, if it's a slow decline of job availability into slight increase in unemployment, talk like 0.25 to 5, 0.5%. So going to like, I don't know, what, 3.5, maybe 4% unemployment, kind of range-ish would not, would not be indicative of a major pullback in interest rates. They may drop it, a quarter to 1.5, I think is what the predictions are. And if they do that over the course of the year, as things are cooling off, then that could time out right. Again, I think I've said this in other videos. The odds are against the Fed. They have never, as far as I know, or maybe only once, pulled a soft landing. So, okay, I thought I saw a silver card there. So to think that this is a given is foolish. It is not. I know a lot of talking heads and economic people are saying it's a given. It's not. It's far from it, in fact. I think the odds are against it. But it could happen, and it's not impossible. And so it's worth considering. And definitely the early indicators are that this is cooling at a reasonably controlled rate by comparison. The economy is, by comparison, because we're not getting a massive crash and spike in unemployment, which is what is historically the thing that happens. That's not to say that we won't, right? That's something to keep in mind. It's always possible that there's some externality, quote unquote black swan event, which I don't think would be really a black swan event because everyone's waiting for something to happen. And some sort of event that triggers the narrative that then causes everyone to pull money simultaneously out of panic. And that is, that's how you get the crashes, right? And you can have a fast crash and things like that, or you can have one that's extended 18 months, a year, that sort of thing. We had that in the past too. But point being that we don't know severity, we don't know the timing. I suspect it's sometime in the next 6 months or so, just based on that unemployment rate I talk about in the market updates. So there's the unemployment rate, you have the continuing unemployment rate, and then you have the jobs openings. And the leading indicator is job openings, because for a good while there, I think there was like 2 or 3 jobs per person seeking a job, right? So that means unemployment was like none. It was basically if you wanted a job, you could get a job. I know that's not accurate, but that's how the data reads, right? And that's the kind of thing that makes decision making. So what has happened is we're at like 1.3 jobs per job seeker. So still full employment capability or close to it, right? And labor basically has advantage in negotiation because it's hard to find people to replace people, right? But that number is coming down pretty quickly. So the number of job openings. And if it goes to 1 or below, which then inverts the labor to management sort of dynamic, then we will see people lose jobs and stay unemployed for a while. And that will then increase the unemployment number, which is, kind of the key thing we're looking at, because that's one of the Fed's goals and targets, is to keep unemployment low. To do that, they would likely reduce rates to allow people to borrow cheaper. The idea is that you borrow credit to line of credit sort of thing to pay employees. And it makes it easier to invest in advancements in the company, which again gets employees. Now, there's all sorts of things about those statements that are wrong and false, but that's the general historic logic of how these things work. And what we're seeing, or what's going on, is that the unemployment has stayed so low and the job openings have stayed so high that most of these things have not really taken effect. Ooh, nice. So you can get these in here. Nice. Shoot, where do I put that? I guess I'll just put it there. I'll get to it. I don't need a separate showcase pile, really. I was wondering if you could actually get the full arts in this at all in draft. Not very common, though. That's 2 boxes. We got 1. So if that happens, then, we'll see. If a decline happens quickly, then we'll see the rates drop quickly. If a decline happens slowly, we may not see the rates decline either at all or very quickly at all. They're already indicating they're going to, because we are seeing, again, that number of job openings decline. So they're anticipating unemployment going up. And then, of course, inflation has been down for a long time. I don't know if you guys pick. Well, you probably don't. I don't see why you would, right? But basically, inflation has dropped to pre-COVID levels in everything but housing. So food, fuel, everything. The inflation levels are actually quite low, best in the world, except for in housing, where it is staying persistent, which is normal. It usually takes a lot longer for houses and housing to react to market changes, right? And so without housing coming down, that inflationary rate, because it takes housing into consideration, is staying elevated. It's still really low. I think it's like 3% now or something. No, 3 or 4%, something like that. CPI, core CPI. Something like that. Anyway, so since the housing is staying elevated, that's going to stay elevated, but everything else is reduced back down to really, really low levels. It doesn't feel it in your pocketbook because, remember, inflation is a rate of change, and the rate of change was really high for a while, so the prices spiked, right? And now the rate of change is really slow, so the economy is catching up, i.e. wages and everything else is catching up, but that takes a while to catch up. So that's where we're seeing kind of the pain in the pocket is still there. Even though inflation is down. That's why it's like, oh, it's an economic indicator that's, bullshit, or people don't really agree with it or feel like the economy is really good. And the thing is, it just takes a long time for it to feel good because of the way these things are measured and what they look like. They are pretty accurate, which is why people in Wall Street and whatever act on it ahead of time and believe in its impact ahead of time because they're reliable enough to do that. Ooh, nice. I don't think it's worth anything, but it looks cool. So I think that's the factors that we're seeing. And, I think inflation being down and unemployment starting to come back, which I suspect will happen in the next 6 months, as I've said many, many times, is the factors that will play into the Fed reducing the rate. I don't think they're going to do it for fun or, before there's a need to, because that would just invite inflation back. Like crazily, in fact. Yeah, honestly, I think they might be acting too soon anyways, even if unemployment goes up. But that's where you have to balance, like, there's human lives at stake. This is people's livelihood and their ability to feed themselves, right? So maybe a little extra inflation to keep people in their jobs is a good idea. It's hard to say because sometimes when you do these best intention kind of economic actions, the externalities and the ripple on effects are more damaging. So like if this causes a lost decade because they can't quite get inflation to slow down, even though they're keeping people employed and stuff. And those are correlated events, right? Keeping people employed does drive inflation. I don't see it as much as people are like, oh, free money makes everyone increase prices. It's not really how that worked over COVID. And the evidence is record profits. It's not inflation. If there's record profits, it's greedflation. It's, stealing from people basically. But point being that it's at one of those points where we will have to see where it goes in the next 6 months. I know I probably sound like a broken record saying the same things over and over again, but that's kind of how I'm looking at it. And I'm just going to cut this short because it's time to go through the cards and see what value I have. And we'll be right back. All right, we're back. It was as painful as I suspected. Just realized I was about to make some more cards go on the TCG app there. Have it held up. So $10 cards, approximately $10. I think one of them's $9.53. Close enough, whatever. We got over here in this column, got 6 of them, not bad. These are above $1. Most of them are in the $1 to $2 range. I think 1 or 2 is in the $4 range, though. So not too bad. And then including the treasure tokens, actually, some of them were like 16 cents. These are the kind of penny cards, generally over 16 cents with a few exceptions. I did like a particular type of the treasure was like 9. I was like, whatever, just throw it in since I already have it sorted out. And then there was a handful of like, not the lands, what was it? A handful of these were pretty cheap, but like taking them out is more effort than just selling 9-cent cards, because somebody might need it, especially since they're the rarer ones. There's a bit easier sale through, I think, on rare cards. And then I also did the foils. These are the sub $1, and these are, more than $1 over here. So only 2 foils that were more than $1. So in grand total across 2 boxes, was $114, making less than $60 EV per box on New Capenna. Everyone remember that from Price is Right? So anyways, that's what that was. I missed. These boxes fail, and Ugin has failed me. It's all his fault. I blame Ugin. Because who doesn't want to blame Ugin for everything? I think it's pretty common. Anyways, did not make the money back. I think it was something like $70 we were targeting, and so we got less than 60, and it's a fail. But, it's cards for the shop, so not a complete failure, which is why I'm doing it in the first place. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Sorry about the camera. Let me know if you have any ideas on how to fix the OBS, memory usage issue or whatever it is. And until next time, have a good one.